Okay, and here's what I do. When I don't know what to believe, I stay the course that I'm on, which is saving animals' lives. Which is why I've said to everybody here, when they're going, I'm not going to volunteer anymore. I'm like, well, what a great plan that is.
Right. That doesn't make any
that
sense
is
either.
stupid.
Right. Well,
And that's what bugs me about all this. I would love for this to be nonprofit. I think it should be nonprofit. I hope Montgomery County Animal Society is the appropriate venue or the appropriate contractor.
The question becomes, how do you get there?
Yeah.
Right.
Then we need county support, and I honestly believe that Commissioner's Court needs to be investigated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. Thanks for talking to me.
Good. Will you do it?
Tell me what you think about the shelter takeover now. Is it?
Well, it's not a takeover. Remember, Care Corporation had been in place for 2 years. The previous owners of Care Corporation sold the rights to the contract to Dr. Ross and his partners. I think remains to be seen. This has just happened in the past month and a half. So far, I see Dr. Ross as a positive influence. Walk in the back. It smells better now. It's cleaner. We came into the surgery room today. Things were put away, organized. The floor was clean. There have been times when we came here earlier, and there would still be stuff on the floor that it was not clean. At least Dr. Ross has got some discipline going among his staff, and I think I have high hopes. I hope it improves. Ultimately, I hope that everything gets converted to a nonprofit. But right now, Dr. Ross has the contract, and I'm hoping for the best, and I intend to do everything I can to make sure the best happens.
Dr. Ross, he's been around for a while anyway. He's not just walked in and stepped into this thing.
He'd been doing surgery here since, I believe, August. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and positive reviews. Everybody seemed to like him until this contract flip happened. And now he's the enemy. But that's where my problem lies. Dr. Ross was everybody's hero until he suddenly became the owner of Care Corporation, and now he's the devil. And I think that there was another... It's not a clinic per se, but as often as we can raise the funds, we will perform spay-neuter surgery on free-roaming and feral cats in Montgomery County. According to PetSmart Charities metrics, based on our population and the number of the acreage out here, there are probably 18,000 feral and free-roaming cats in the county. Those cats are reproducing, and those kittens reproduce again, and we are determined to lower the overpopulation rate and thereby reduce the number of animals coming into the shelter. Once the number of animals coming into the shelter is reduced, then the euthanasia rate will be reduced. Spay and neuter is the only key to achieving a no-kill status for the Montgomery County Animal Shelter. And that's what we're doing here.
Now kitten season's getting ready to come in.
Kitten season starts generally in March through October. Normally the shelter is overrun with kittens. People keep saying, well, why don't you just get a bigger shelter? We could build out to all the way to 336, and we still wouldn't have room to house the animals that could potentially come in if we don't stem the tide of overpopulation through spay and neuter.
Okay. How does someone go about setting something up for spay and neuter? What's the cost to them?
We do it. Our program, which is the Bruce Capp Memorial Animal Fund, exists on donations only. If you have feral cats in your neighborhood, you can contact me. I'll set you up with some people that can come out and trap the cats. As long as you're willing to continue to feed them and you promise not to harm them, we'll spay and neuter them for free. We do accept donations very happily. But our goal is to reduce overpopulation, not to make a profit.
How many cats do you figure a day? Like today, for example?
Today we're doing about 70. Over the past 2 years of our program, we've done 2,000 cats.
Hey, first of all, Dr. Ross, tell me a little bit about now. You've come on board here.
Yes,
tell me a little about the shelter since you've come on board.
Well, since I've come on board, 1st of January, we're doing a lot to try to improve the overall quality of the shelter. We're cleaning a lot more diligently, helping with the husbandry, cutting down on some of the parasites, and trying to more or less help with the overall wellness of the animals. We're feeding twice a day, making sure the animals are getting well fed to cut down on some of the dog fights that happen within the shelter. One thing that our goal here at the shelter is to more or less cut down on the overpopulation by making sure all the animals are getting spayed and neutered before they leave out the shelter. It's going to be a task, but that's one thing that we do have in mind and what we're trying to get done.
What about, I mean, you've got a lot of people coming up with negative stuff right now. I mean, it's all negative, but you still have a heck of a lot of volunteers still working inside the shelter.
Yes, all our volunteers are diligently working to try to do what our common goal is to save lives and cut down on euthanasias. And the volunteers we have here are great. They work not for me, not for the society, but for the animals. And that's what we want here at the shelter.
What do you think the shelter? I mean, you look positive all the way along. Like it's going to grow now, and basically for the good of the animals, all the way along.
Yes, everything that we're doing here is for the animals. This is why I'm here. This is why the society here. This is why the shelter's here, to be a voice for the animals out here in Montgomery County.
What about people adopting? I mean, is it a little easier for people to adopt, and what's it take to adopt an animal out here?
Out here, all you have to do is come find an animal that you like, dog or cat. Ask one of the care members, and go to the front desk, and it's as easy as that.
All right.